What is going on, guys? Welcome to this video. What we're going to do in this video is walk through a strategy that's been working really well to scale our fitness coaching businesses upwards to 10, 20, 30, even 50K per month. Now, this is a really simple strategy utilizing boosted posts on Instagram for you to be able to get more followers to your page to get into your sales process. So just as a quick overview, typically what we teach our students is how to utilize social media to get eyeballs on their page to be able to get new people to speak to into their DMs onto a sales call and close them into a paying client. And a lot of the bottlenecks come from people not having the organic reach without paying for traffic. And so the strategy I'm going to show with you guys in this video is going to show you guys a beginner method for you to get into paid ads, to get more eyeballs on the page, so that way you have more leads to work with for your online coaching business. Now, this is a lesson taken straight from our PTBI course. This is the level of education that you get inside of our community, but also what you get in our community is one-on-one coaching and a community. So you might learn to be able to do this strategy all on your own, which I really highly recommend that you do. If you want additional support, and you want to have someone look over your posts, you want to have someone look over your targeting, you want to have someone to give you coaching on a week-to-week basis on how to scale your fitness business, then consider joining PTBI. All you have to do is click the link down below in the description box. It will take you to a landing page that will tell you more about our program and how it works, and potentially see if it's a good fit for you. And if you want to join a community of like-minded personal trainers and fitness coaches who are passionate about building businesses, achieving freedom, and doing just more with their life than just training clients at the gym, then I encourage you to join. This is your invitation to join PTBI. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this week's lesson. All right. So in this training, we're going to talk about boosted posts and what they are, so you can use this as a strategy to get more leads and more eyeballs onto your page. Now, this isn't going to be a full in-depth post on boosted posts in the terms of the psychology and the tech behind it. This is going to build off a previous lesson that we've put into the Personal Trainers Business Incubator course to show you guys an additional strategy that you can utilize. So in a previous lesson, I talked about boosted posts, what they are, how they work, why you would want to use them. And we're going to touch a little bit about that on this lesson. But in that previous lesson, we talked about follower ads and how you can use boosted posts to get more followers onto your page. But in this lesson, what we're going to talk about is how to build off of that strategy and use comment ads to get more leads to opt into your posts. So that way you can utilize the DMs a little bit stronger to get more leads. Now, both strategies are going to work really well. Both strategies are going to be recommended for beginners because it's just so easy and so simple to set up. And it's very, very, I guess the bottleneck beforehand was the tracking. The tracking was limited with boosted posts, but we recently just developed a new tracking system to be able to track the ROI from these boosted posts. So it's going to be really, really awesome. So just know that there might be a little bit of information missed here. If you guys are looking for a full in-depth boosted post strategy, then I invite you to look into the other lessons that we hosted on the PTBI course. But this lesson will show you the comment ad strategy. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about scaling your lead generation using Instagram boosted posts. Instagram boosted posts are a very easy way for you to increase your reach on your posts and is the very first step towards using paid ads to grow your business. So at a certain point, organic is only going to be able to take you so far. You're only going to be able to have so much organic reach, and you're going to be crossing your fingers every day, hoping that a post goes viral or brings in new people to your page. Whereas with paid traffic, you have a very consistent, reliable way to generate new business for your page because you're always bringing in new prospects because you're paying to push your content in front of new people. Boosted posts is like the bridge to go from organic to paid traffic. Paid traffic, you're going to be looking at like DM ads and call funnels. In boosted posts, you can do this within the Instagram app. It's super simple with the tracking system they're going to show you. It makes it very, very simple. It's like elementary paid ads 101. So the reason why you would want to use a boosted post is that so you can consistently generate new leads for your business without having to worry about your organic posts going viral. There are a few different types of boosted posts like follower ads and viral growth ads, which I've talked about in different lessons. But today we're specifically going to talk about comment ads. So the process for a boosted post comment ads is super simple. You create a post that agitates a pain point. You offer a free resource to solve that pain point. You tell prospects to comment a keyword to receive the free resource. You send the free resource in the DMs and you start the DM sales process. Now we're gonna talk about each one of these points here. The one thing that we're not going to talk about is the last step, which is send the resource in the DMs and start the DM sales process. That is taught in many other lessons in PTBI. At this point, if you're watching this, you should know how to take someone from the DMs to a phone call to a close. That would be that would make this lesson a 10-hour lesson. So if you're interested in how to take someone from a boosted post to all the way to a close, then check out the other lessons inside of PTBI. But for creating a post that agitates a pain point, offering a free resource, and then telling process comic keyword, we're going to talk about that in this lesson. So the creative. So the creative is the actual post itself. And you do want to have strategy with this. So with a follower ad, typically the CTA for a follower ad is that you're going to give value and then you're going to tell people to comment or tell people to follow you. And ideally, you'll start getting followers from that. A viral growth ad is if your ad is not optimized for opt-ins or conversions whatsoever, but it gets a ton of reach, it gets a ton of, views, it gets a ton of likes, and it just goes viral. Well, you can pay to boost that to keep it going viral and keep it popping off. That would be a viral growth ad. Now, with a comment ad, you want to be very specific about the structure of the post to make sure that you're getting the result that you want to get, which is comments. So for the creative, which is the post itself, meaning the caption, the video, the topic, that is all grouped in under the creative. The main thing that you want to focus on is creating some sort of open loop. So an open loop is highlighting some sort of challenge, problem, pain point that your ideal client may or may not have been looking to solve and talk about how it's keeping them from their goals. So a really great framework for posts is creating open and closed loops. When you hook someone in to your post, you're creating an open loop. You're agitating some sort of problem that they either were looking to solve or they didn't even know was a problem, right? But they now they have it. Now that they're aware of this problem through your post, they're going to continue watching your content to see how they can solve that problem. Really great example could be, talking about, a dog that went missing in a family this sounds super track. I don't know why this popped into my mind, but like a family has been searching for a dog for 5 days, right? That's going to capture your attention. And all of a sudden that creates an open loop because you're like, oh my God, what happened to the dog? How's the family? How did the dog go missing? Like there's all these questions that haven't been answered. And so you're going to stay to watch all the way to the end of the reel to find out that, hey, the dog was found, the dog got lost on a walk, and everyone's happy. Everyone's safe, right? I'm glad that the tragic story ended in a good note, but that's a closed loop. So a good post for a creative is creating some sort of open loop, but not closing the loop through your content. And I'll talk about what that means in a second. So now the post itself simply highlights the pain point. It makes the argument why the pain point is keeping them from the goals. This creates an open loop, which your ideal client now knows is a problem to solve, but does not yet have a solution to solve the problem. So 3 examples of this topic can be 3 high protein foods that you're missing out on, right? That's going to let people know that, hey, I'm actually, I'm missing out on, really easy high protein foods. Exercises to build your glutes that no one's doing, right? How you can eat your favorite snacks while making progress on your goals and why training 6 days a week is holding you back. So none of these topics actually solve problems. They just highlight a problem that the ideal client might be facing. So you're not closing the loop here, but you're opening the loop. So the ideas and topics are endless. So don't be afraid to test out many different topics. So one thing I want to say here is with boosted posts, yes, you're going to be spending money, but like it's the same thing as organic in the sense that like you're not going to try to sit there and create the most perfect, viral post and you only get one shot and everything in that one shot has to be completely optimized. It's like, no, you get literally an unlimited amount of rounds in your chamber to be able to take as many shots as possible. And so it's the same thing with boosted posts. Don't get so caught up in trying to make the perfect ad. Be willing to make many. I have clients that have, 5 different boosted post runnings of things that they're constantly testing new ideas and topics. So don't be afraid to, throw spaghetti at the wall. As far as delivery goes, there are 3 main types that I've seen work well. Don't take this for gospel though. Be willing to get creative. I have a very limited viewpoint. I'm only one person and my ideas only stretch so far. And so if you have an idea for something that you think that, could work, don't be afraid to post it just because I said these are the three that I've seen work well. These are just three that I've seen work really well, right? Be willing to test out some other stuff too. One is green screen, one is to show the resource, and one is B-roll. And I'll show you examples of this in just a second. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so here is an example of one of our clients, Brady Hutchins, who had a post do really well with a boost. So we're going to talk about the actual resource itself in just a second. So this is a green screen. It's a before and after of one of his clients, and he titles it 7-Day Transformation. So the open loop he's creating here is, how did this person get this transformation in 7 days? Like, this is a really, really fast before and after. So the open loop is, how the hell did he do this, right? His CTA here, which I'll show you. We'll dive a little bit deeper into the CTA and the resources after I show you these examples. The CTA is comment plan. I'll show the exact steps on how to implement them into your lifestyle, right? And then his comments are going crazy with people commenting the keyword plan. So these are all leads that want the resource that he's giving away. And so it's just a really, really easy way to generate leads of people who are interested in what you're having to offer. Now, again, these people aren't opting in for your coaching offer, so they do require a little bit of nurturing. Many of them might not know who you are, so they're not going to be as easy to get on a call and close as your organic stuff is. But if your problem is lead generation, then this gives you a ton of opportunity for you to get new leads to nurture for your business. The other thing too is, like, once you boost it, and then it's just going to keep bringing in new comments every single day. Another example is my good student, Brett. We're going to scroll down till we can find it here. And it is right here. So this is an example of where he gives a resource, but he actually shows the resource, right? He's actually scrolling through the things that he's giving away. So he's like, hey, if you're a beginner to mobility, here is a resource that you can have for free. All you got to do is comment guide, and I'll send it to you. So this is a really great example of someone who did a scroll, right? And there's people here who are commenting the keyword, and these are all leads for him to reach out to. And he signed a few clients from this as well. He boosted it for a little bit and then had to turn it off because there's too many leads for him to manage, right? So it's a really, really easy, simple strategy for you to get consistent leads for your business. The last one I'm going to show is B-roll. So this is our client, Megan, and she's done a really good job at this. So I'm going to point out, so like, boom, there's one, boom, there's one. Let's see for another one. Boom, there's another one. Let's see if there's a little bit more. Boom, there's another one. And boom, there's another one. So she has like 7, all right? I don't even know how many that was. You can go back and count. But this is what I mean by, if she has one boosted post, and this one did really, really well, right? So she got a ton of leads from this. And all she did was just do a little B-roll video for her. She created an open loop. So if I wanted to lose 10 to 20 pounds by the holidays, here's 7 breakfasts that I would have on repeat. So that brings people in. People are commenting the keyword breakfast for the resource. And again, this is just a ton of leads. So those are a couple of examples to get your juices kind of flowing. You can see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. So those are 6, 7. Yeah, 6. Okay, 6 posts. So hopefully that got your brains going. So let's go back to the lesson. All right. So now let's talk about the actual resource itself. So we talked about the creative. Now it's time to talk about what you're actually giving away. So to close the open loop, remember, your post is to agitate some sort of pain point or problem that they did or did not know that they were solving, to draw them in. What you want to do is build a valuable resource that offers a solution, right? What I've seen work best is something that's marketable as fast and easy, but has utility as a tool to be able to use immediately. So it's not just a guide, it's a tool, right? The resource should build off of the post as well. It should be the next step in that train of thought. So if someone is now coming to your post and says, I have this problem, how do I solve this problem? Well, instead of solving the problem in the post itself, you solve the problem through some sort of resource or a tool. So if your post is talking about why you don't need to train 3 days per week, then your resource can be a free 3-day workout routine. So the post highlights the point that, hey, you don't need to be doing this thing. And they're going to be in their mind thinking, okay, well then what should I be doing? And you say, hey, if you're wondering what you should be doing, this is what you should be doing. Comment this and I'll give it to you for free, right? If your post talks about 4 high protein foods to eat, then your resource can be a meal plan using those same 4 high protein foods. So someone might say, okay, cool, I know I should be eating these foods, but how do I work these in? Well, now you have a resource that's showing you, hey, here's an example meal plan, right? So make your resource something that your ideal clients can actually use and put into practice right away. The best resources that I've seen perform well is high protein checklist, so like a grocery list for high protein foods, breakfast, lunch, and dinner weight loss meals. So, and these can be, it could be a breakfast resource, it could be a lunch resource. These is not all one resource, but like, hey, these are 7 breakfast meals that you can eat to help you lose weight. Right? A 3-day workout routine, 5 day, 6 day, whichever. And then a 7-day transformation checklist, which I'll show you in just a second. So let's take a look at some of these resources. Okay, so going back to Megan here, she goes, if I wanted to lose 10 to 20 pounds by the holidays, here's 7 breakfasts that I would have on repeat. And in her caption, she says eggs, Greek yogurt, smoked salmon, cottage cheese, etc. Right? Someone who's reading this might be, okay, great. Those are great high protein foods, but how do I actually use that? How do I actually, implement that into my lifestyle? Well, and here she goes, comment breakfast and I'll send you my high protein breakfast guide with ideas to make these sources into an easy, quick, delicious family recipe. So in her content, she's opening a loop of saying, hey, these are the foods that you should be eating. And then she goes even further and says, now I'm going to show you how to take these foods and actually turn them into meals, right? We'll go back to Brady really quick since that was an example that I showed here. So let's see, right here. So he goes here, he says, if you know me, I hate short-term fixes. If you can't do it long-term, I don't see the point of doing it. But this transformation is really cool because she ate more food, she was training 3 times per week, and she started making more time for herself and felt really good. When I saw her progress photo, it was crazy to see the difference between when you actually let your body heals. When you lower your cortisol, lower your inflammation, sleep more, eat whole foods, your body will respond right away. Now, this is just one step in a long-term plan, but I thought it was worth mentioning to show you guys what can happen when you actually take care of yourself. Comment plan, and I'll share the exact steps on and how to implement them into your lifestyle. So she goes, hey, these are really great results for 7 days, and we did that by doing a few key things. Comment the word plan, and I'll share with you exactly what we did to get her these results in 7 days, which is why this went crazy. Now, again, remember what I said. You want to market this as something that's fast and quick and easily marketable. And so if he was like, hey, here's a full 90-day transformation, and I'm going to give you like a muscle building guide, it might not do as well. But if you're like, hey, I'm going to show you how to, add 5 pounds to your lifts in the next 7 days, well, that's something that is very quick. You're going to get a lot more opt-ins for quick. Now, one that has been really good that I love showing is our student, Natalie. So if you scroll down here, she has a post that went dumb viral. It went crazy, and it is right here. So she goes, not to point any fingers, but your protein sources being peanut butter, eggs, cheese, and lunch meats is what's holding you back. So in her content, she goes, hey, I know this isn't your fault, but this is actually why you're not seeing results, right? Read the caption for more details. And in her caption, she goes, before everyone takes out the pitchforks, read the caption, the protein sources you should be having. Hate to break it to you, but eggs, lunch meats, cheese, and peanut butter are all high-fat foods. So one thing that she talks about that's really interesting is that she opens this pain point and says, hey, the reason why you're not seeing results is because you're eating these food sources as your protein sources when they're actually high-fat. And then her caption actually backs up her argument and makes it even more of a problem, right? So now people are realizing, oh, these foods are actually probably not the best sources for me. What should I be having? Right? She doesn't actually talk about what you should be having. She just talks about why it's a problem and backs up her argument. But her resource talks about the solution, right? So, hey, you have this problem. Here's why it's a problem. Now, if you're wondering what you should be having, comment the word protein, and I'll send you my protein cheat sheet that helps me get 150 grams of protein per day, right? So this is what I'm talking about when the resource should be closing the open loop that you're creating through your content, because now people are going to be commenting like crazy for this resource. And I think she had over 1 million views on this post. And, a lot of people are, talking shit, which you get this social media. It's, par for the course, but go back to the dishes. That's terrible. But yeah, she pretty much was able to hire a virtual assistant, hire an AC, and scale her business purely from this post alone because she has so many leads to work with now. So yeah, let's get back to it. All right. So now that we have the boosted post ready, we're going to show you how to launch your boosted post. Now, this is going to be a very, very quick reminder. We have a more in-depth training inside the PTBI course material. So if you guys want a more in-depth training on the abilities of boosted posts, then I would definitely check that. But as a quick kind of overview, first things first, do not boost your posts from your iPhone. Do not boost your posts from the mobile app. You will get hit with an Apple service fee that is astronomical. It is not worth it. So I just do not recommend boosting your posts from your app. Boost your posts from the desktop. So on your computer, log into your Instagram on your computer, boost your post from the desktop. What you're going to do is hit this little boost post. Once your post is posted, hit the little boost post button. It's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Your goal is for people to visit your profile. So this is what you want. You don't want people to visit your website. You don't want people to message you. You want brand awareness and follows. So do this. If you want to do any of these stuff, I would recommend a completely different funnel. So just don't even worry about this. Just do this. Social requirements. You don't need to turn this on. Keep that off. Now this is where you can. I don't know why this is extremely embarrassing. So I'm just gonna. I don't know how to delete this. Trust me. I use that as an example. I'm not trying to target Taylor Swift and Whole Foods. So who do you want to see your ad? This is where you can be targeted. So you can have Instagram kind of do the manual work for you. So they'll take a look at your followers and try to show your boosted post to people who are similar to that. But if you happen to have really bad following demographics, like let's say that you have a bunch of people from India following you, for example, then Instagram's going to look at your demographics and think, oh, you have a bunch of people following you from India. Let me show it to more people from India. So you just really want to make sure that if you're going to use this option, make sure that your demographic is the demographic that you want it to be. Because if you have your demographic skewed in any certain way, it will only skew it further that way. So just be careful with that. The other option is that you can create your own. So I'm going to go through this very quickly. What I would do is turn this off. Because what this does is it uses AI to try to find audiences for you. But again, what happens is if your post starts getting really good engagement from the wrong audience, Facebook is still going to think of that as good performance and show it to more of those people. So a really big problem that a lot of fitness coaches have is that they get a lot of 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old high schoolers opting into their funnel with paid ads. And it's because you get one 15-year-old in high school that opts in, and then Facebook thinks, oh, look at over here. We're getting really good engagement. Let me show it to more of those people. And now you're just pigeonholed in a demographic that you can't convert. So I would just turn this off. I would do it manually. Name your audience. So you can name it Taylor Swift, Whole Foods. And then that's probably how I got that. Location. So regional, local. If you're doing local ads, so if like you want to find people within your local audience, I do not know why it put me over there, or regional, which is people, within your certain region, I wouldn't do that because, you want to reach people from all over. Interest, this is where you can target things like Taylor Swift, right? And then you could target things like Whole Foods, right? And then it'll give you some suggestions here as well. And then age range, gender, and then you can hit save. I'm not going to save that. For example, though, you could see, so for me, obviously I target personal trainers, fitness coaches, and then what I would do is I'm looking for men and women, ages 25 to 50. I'm looking for people in the United States and Canada. And then these are just some of the interests that some of those people might have. So Gymshark, First Form, GNC, and then I can obviously add more before and after. What I would do is set your daily budget. Now, I would recommend anywhere between $20 to $30 per day. However, I have seen boosted posts perform really well at $5 a day. So the lowest I would absolutely go is $5 a day. The problem with that, though, is that you're not giving Facebook and you're not giving Instagram enough spend daily to really optimize. You're kind of suffocating it. And it's like, it's like trying to run with strings attaching both of your feet together. So you're not able to get a full long stride. You can only get half strides. You're shortcutting pretty much the opportunity that you're giving it to find its reach. However, I have seen ads perform really, really well with as little as $5 a day. So you can start low, but the range I would recommend is at least $20 to $30 a day, if not more. Duration, I would not set a duration. I would run this thing until you pause it, because what I've seen happen more often than not is people will set a duration for 7 days, and then they'll forget about it and it'll turn off, and it will be performing well and they forgot they set the duration, and then it turns off on them and they're like wondering what happened, and then they have to return it on, and then it loses all of its progress and loses all of its momentum. I would rather you just leave it running and turn it off when you decide that it's not performing the way you want to, rather than it turning off for you and you're losing out on a good ad. So then you just hit boost posts. That's pretty much it. Super simple. Now we're going to go to the tracking. So let's talk about how to track these boosted posts. So now the boosted posts are live, it's time to track and scale. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right. So now we're going to talk about the boosted post tracker. So first things first, what this is going to do is it's going to teach you, not teach you, but it's going to show you your profit and your KPIs for the boosted post. So this first page here is the master post. So what this is going to do, so you have post one, post two, post three. These are all different pages, right? And this is going to populate all the information onto the, essentially the big master post. So it's going to populate it all onto here. This here is going to be where you enter in the information for your tracking. So the thing with boosted posts is that it's not like Ads Manager to where you can select a specific day that you want to look at the KPIs for, the numbers for, and just have those numbers. It adds the numbers as you go. So there's only one total number that you can check on every single day. So we had to get creative to create this kind of tracker to allow you to be able to separate your spend and your comments and your follows per day. And the way that we did that was that we are essentially taking the difference from the day before and then dividing that by the spend. So let's just take this for example, right? Let's say that let's just use a new page, for example. Let's say that you're spending $15 per day. So day one, the number that you spent is 15. The comments that you received on that first day was 10 comments. The followers that you received on that first day was, say, 10 followers. The messages that you sent were 10 messages. The responses that you got were 8. And let's say that you booked 5 calls, and obviously you didn't take any sales calls that day. Whoops. Show rate is going to be nothing. And then sales is right. So that is your first day. The second day, because the number is just going to add on top, it's not going to take the difference. Your second day is going to look like 30, because if you're spending $15 per day, then the first day you're going to spend 30, the second day you're going to spend 30. But what this does is it subtracts the difference from the 2 days to show you what you spent that day. So it says $15 per day. And let's say the same thing with comments. It's not going to show you the specific comments that you gained that specific day. But let's say that you go on and day 2, you have 25 comments. Right? And this is the total amount of comments. So what this is going to do is it's going to subtract the difference from the day you tracked and the day before to show you that you gained 15 comments that new second day. And it's going to divide that by the amount you spent that day, which will give you your cost per comment. Same thing with your followers. Your followers might go from 10 to, say, 20, and it'll show you that you gained 10 followers. This looks like a calculation that I'm going to have to get fixed. So I will do that, but this will give you your cost per follower. And then this is the messages sent. So let's say that out of the 10 new followers, you sent another 8. And out of the responses, you got 5 people to respond. You booked 3 calls and you got 1 sales call booked. You closed 1 deal for 1,500 and 1 sales call closed. And you got 1 sales call, you closed it for 1,500 and you collected, say, $500 up front. Let's do one more and show that 40. And let's just say that this is now going to be, oh, so this is going to, yeah, this is going to be 45 because it's $15 per day. Your comments goes up to 40. And let's just say we'll go something else. Let's say 28. You only gain 3 followers or 3 comments that day. Followers were 5, or actually, let's say 25, right? Because you're doing the total messages sent. Let's say 5 responses, 1 calls booked 0. You got another call and they didn't show, right? Okay, so this is just an example. So these gray columns here are going to give you your KPIs that you're looking for. These are automated calculations that are going to give you the KPIs that you're looking for. You don't need to do this, but these are the numbers that you're looking at, right? Typically what you want here is you want cost per comment anywhere between $1 to $3. So if you're under $5 cost per comment, then that's good. Cost per follower, again, you want anywhere between $2 to $5, which is fine. Cost per convo, anywhere between, $1 to $5 is fine too. And then cost per call, anything below $25 is totally fine. And then cost per call for that sales is going to be anywhere between, let's just say anywhere between like $25 to $100 is totally fine here. And then cost per acquisition, anything below $300 would be good. And then obviously you want your profits to be in the green. So that is how you use this tracker. You can have up to 3 posts here. If you want to add more, you just hit duplicate and it'll duplicate more. But you could have 3 different boosted posts running and you can calculate the difference between all of those. You're just going to have to track when you have the sales calls, etc., which boosted post they came from. So you can, if they close, you can give them the boosted post the appropriate revenue. But ideally, you want to be profitable. So let's just say if you spend $500 on a boosted post, then you want to have, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, anything in the profit is good. But that's how you use this tracker. I'll get these calculations fixed before they get sent out, but let's get it. All right. So important tips. We're going to hop back in here. All right. So important things to wrap this up. The first is that boosted posts are not directly going to lead to sales. So this is a disclaimer that I have to put in when it comes to paid traffic. You need to know how to sell. You need to know how to convert. You need to know how to nurture a lead. All that boosted posts and paid traffic is going to do is simply just bring you more leads. However, if you do not have a system or process down to convert and close those leads, it's not going to do you any good. So one thing I will say is don't think that if you boosted posts for 2 weeks and you get really, really great KPIs, but you're not getting any sales and it's not profitable, don't think it's the boosted post fault. It's probably some other fault in the sales process that needs work. So a lot of the students that I work with in the PTBI program will have lead flow and good lead quality, but typically it's something that we need to look at with the DMs, or we need to review their sales calls, or we need to review their nurturing process or their sales process, etc., that will lead to more sales. Because once you get leads coming to the doorstep, that's pretty much all Facebook ads does. Like that's all you can really do. So all boosted posts will do is show your content to new faces and get them to opt in for your freebie. But you still need to sell. These people are going to be coming in cold. They're not going to be coming in for your coaching offer. They're not going to have any idea who they are. All they want is the free thing. Now, the boosted post will give you the opportunity to then capture their attention and add them into your pipeline, but you still need to work that lead. These new faces won't be sold on your coaching, not yet, at least. That is your job. Once the boosted post does its job, your job is to get them to want your coaching. It might take some time for these leads to warm up and become hot. So nurture them in the DMs, offer additional resources in the DMs once they start chatting with you, potentially throw them into a challenge to convert. Once they're in your ecosystem, it is up to you to convert them in any way you know how. So this is another invitation that I have for you guys. If you guys utilize this lesson and you start getting leads from boosted posts, but it's not exactly going the way you want to, and you can benefit from having someone look over this, I invite you to join PTBI. Link is in the description below, and I want to see you in there. The next tip is that depending on your comment volume, using ManyChat automations to start conversation with leads that comment can be very useful. ManyChat is an Instagram CRM that will allow you to manage your messages and automate some of the process. So if you have a high volume of conversations going in, this can be useful. So let's say that you're getting 10, 15, 20 comments per day. Well, instead of going and messaging every single one of those people individually, you could set up a ManyChat automation to where as soon as someone comments on a specific post with a specific word, a message gets sent to that person with the resource and starts the conversation. So now you don't need to start the conversations, but you just go in there and manage the conversation that the ManyChat automation took care of. So this isn't a training on ManyChat. This is just a tip. It can be useful. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys appreciated this lesson. Let's go ahead and get more money.